It's been a while since I've been on the camera. I didn't do my Witchy Wednesdays last week because I just didn't feel good. This week, today is Wednesday. It's already 4:30 p.m. and I'm just now filming it. So, I've had a rough week. Stressful. I look a little rough. Sorry. I did put on some fun purple lip color just to, make myself feel better. But, basically, I have chronic migraines. I've mentioned that a few times. And if you watch my other channel, you will know that. I usually have migraines 20 or more days a month. Despite trying various preventative medications, none of it seems to work. But when I say I have migraines 20 days or more during the month, it's not common for me to have no breaks. So like, let's say I have migraines 3 days in a row. That doesn't mean 3 days straight with no relief from pain usually. Usually what that means is like, maybe the first day around like 1 p.m. a migraine started. And then I took medication or whatever and say it went away by the time I went to bed. So then I wake up the next day without a migraine. But then, maybe a migraine starts at 4 p.m. that day. So it doesn't always mean like continuous pain, okay? But for the last 3 days I've had continuous pain. Which is not that common for my migraines, but it really wears on you. And even though the pain is now gone, I still have the after effects, the kind of migraine hangover, as some people will call it, plus still have some side effects from the medication I took. So I don't feel great, but I wanted to record this and get it up. So what I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks for Witchy Wednesdays is on Instagram every month there's a ton of challenges related to paganism and mainly tarot. There is a Instagram account called divination.challenges, and they collect all the challenges as long as you tag them in it when you post whatever your challenge is going to be. Then they will post it on their page. So you can go to their Instagram page and find just a ton of challenges. So I'm doing a few tarot ones this month. I'm doing 2. But then there was also one that's a pagan journaling challenge. So basically there's a prompt for every day, and it relates to your pagan life. Things like, how did you become a pagan, and why did you become a pagan, and do you work with deities, and things like that. And so what I decided to do is, instead of posting on Instagram each day the journaling prompt, I decided each week in my Witchy Wednesdays I will discuss the questions and my answers. So for today we're going to do questions 1 through 6, which would go from September 1st to September 6th. Today is September 6th. Next Wednesday I'll do like the 7th through the 13th or something like that. I'll figure. Oh, excuse me. Migraines make me yawn a lot too. Look it up, it's a symptom. And it seems like when I talk, the yawning comes more. If I don't talk, it doesn't happen much. But anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be answering those questions. So let's get started. Number 1 is, how do I see myself as a pagan? To be honest, I'm not really sure where they're going with that one. Let me pull up the person that, actually started it and see if they gave any more information as to what they meant to with that one. Let's see. Because I feel like the question, how do I see myself as a pagan, could be interpreted quite a few different ways. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they're looking for. So I think I'm just gonna try to kind of do my best on that. Yeah. I don't know. Well, actually I'm reading hers now. Okay, so it seems like when she answered it, she did it as like kind of what kind of a pagan she is. So I find it hard to describe like what I am in concise words. I would definitely fit the definition of a witch in paganism. I am a pagan. I do like work with deities. I work with the moon a bit. I'm not quite as like fully into it as I would like to be. It's hard when I'm going through all the stress of my migraines and filing for disability and not having income and such. So I try to keep up on my spirituality as much as I can because it makes me feel better, but I don't necessarily do everything I'd like to do. Like following the moon cycles as closely. Like today's a full moon and I really don't have any plans for it. I don't. You know, it'd be great. I actually have never, I just realized my rose quartz is missing. That's probably one of my cats. They like to knock my stones off. But where did it go is the question. I'm gonna have to look for that. My altar is like right here, and my rose quartz is missing. That's alright. I will find it after the video. I just happened to look over there and notice that my cats are such a pain in the ass sometimes. They're both sleeping right now because, you know, middle of the day. But so I would like to put more time and effort into my spirituality. I do feel very drawn to the moon. I always have. I've always felt drawn to like the dark, the night, the shadows, that kind of thing, even though it also always scared me. I've been afraid of the dark since I was a very young child. Probably because I started wearing glasses when I was like 8 and probably needed them before then. And even now, since I've had LASIK, or even if I'm, say, like wearing contacts or glasses or something, in the dark, nothing is clear. Like right now, I don't have contacts or glasses on. I can read what's on my computer screen. This is due to the LASIK I had. My vision is not 20/20 though, so I do still have prescription sunglasses that I use when I drive. Otherwise, I can't see street signs very well, but just around at home I see, you know, plenty good enough. I can read what's on my computer screen and all of that. But once it gets dark, the darker it gets, the blurrier my vision gets, and it's been like that my entire life. I guess whatever part of your eye, rods or cones, I forget which does which, but whichever one helps you see stuff in the dark doesn't help me so much. Everything looks blurry, like nothing has an actual like edge to it. It's all blurred edges. So especially when you're a child and you have a very active imagination, even if you're looking at something like your dresser, if it doesn't have a hard edge to it, if it just has blurred edges, the blurriness always makes it look like the edges are moving too. They're not stationary. So it's really easy to get scared as a child. And even as an adult, I find that I have to like rationalize stuff to myself and remind myself that, you know, whatever that particular item is, like I know what it is, and even though it looks like it's moving, it's not moving. My pagan practices have actually helped me with my fear of the dark a bit. It's not gone, but it is better. So I've always been drawn to the dark and the shadow and the moon and all of that, though, even though I've been afraid of it too, which I find interesting. But I would like to work more on that as far as following the moon phases and, like, you know, doing something to honor the phases of the moon as they come. So I don't see myself as the best pagan ever because I don't follow everything. I don't follow Sabbats. They just don't mean much to me. I like the equinoxes and solstices for when the seasons actually change. The fall equinox is coming up here in about 2 weeks. And I would like to do something for those, but I don't very often. So I feel like I could be a better pagan. But I'm doing what I can with what I have right now, and you know, life isn't that easy to deal with right now. So when things get a little more settled down, a little more calm, I intend on doing more. So I'm definitely a witch, but like what type of witch? I feel like titles make it easier to explain to people what you are, but they really aren't that necessary. So I really don't even like the term witch, honestly, because a lot of people, their first thought of witch is, you know, movie witches and TV witches, none of which are accurate. So I'm not a fan of the word witch, actually. I use it because it's what people know, but not a fan of it. I make my own paths is really all I can say about that. I do consider myself pagan, definitely, and spiritual, and I practice witchcraft. So how did I become a pagan is number 2. I was introduced to Wicca first through a college classmate a long time ago, probably like 2005, something like that. And I followed Wicca for a little while, and then I fell out of it. Plus, a lot of it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like it fit me, but I really didn't know that there were so many other pagan paths other than Wicca at the time, because Wicca is what I was studying. So I kind of stayed out of it for a little while and didn't do much, and then I finally came back to it a couple of years ago and realized that I could make my own path and that I didn't have to follow Wicca. So I did. I made my own path. But I became a pagan because of a college classmate who introduced me to Wicca. So why did I become a pagan is number 3, and that is because it fits. It feels right to me. I'm not a fan of organized religion, period. I don't care what the religion is. I'm not a fan of organized religion. I'm not a fan of someone telling me that I have to follow these rules, you know, or something bad's gonna happen to me and all of that. So, but I am spiritual. So paganism just fits. Number 4, what does a typical day look like for me through pagan eyes? My typical day looks boring through any eyes. I'm not working right now, so the things I tend to do daily that are pagan related is I do meditate. During my meditation, I work on my chakras and opening those more. I might talk to my spirit guides, or my spirit animal companions that help me. I like to light incense at my altar. I love incense. It calms me, it relaxes me, puts me more of a spiritual vibe. I do tarot most days. I went through quite a while where like I tried to do tarot every day, and it kind of made me start feeling like it was a job. Like it was something I was doing because I had to, not because I wanted to. So I don't necessarily do it every day now, but I do it most days. I'll do like a pull from an oracle deck, or I'll do like one of the challenges on Instagram for the pagan, for the tarot, and do that kind of stuff. That's probably the most I do that's pagan. I'm also in some pagan Facebook groups. So I talk to a lot of people that way. Talk to other witches and pagans and all of that. Yeah. Other than that, my day is pretty boring. Number 5, where has my study focus been recently? I haven't been doing a lot of study recently. I've been reading the book Dancing with Dragons by DJ Conway. It's interesting to learn her perspective on dragons. The only complaints I have about the book is DJ does tend to present things as this is the way it is and this is the only way, rather than, you know, this is my way but you find your own way. This might work for you, it might not, you know what I mean? I think that's a major thing people need to remember in paganism, witchcraft, Wicca, any of it, is what works for one person may not work for you. Take what feels right to you and leave the rest. And I feel like her wording in the book, in DJ's book, is more like it's her way is the only way. And I'm not a fan of that. But I am reading the book. I'm also looking into veganism more and more because it fits my spirituality. The more I've worked on my spirituality, the more I have felt called to what's the word I'm looking for? To work on my physical health too. And I feel like veganism would be healthier for me physically. So I'm working on that as well. Those are the things I'm studying right now. And number 6 is what would I like to study next and why. I want to study herbalism. I'd like to become a certified herbalist. I was never like really interested in herbs, and then I have an app on my phone called Amino. It's like a social group, a social network thing where people can create groups on it for different purposes, and there's quite a few pagan and witchcraft groups on it, and I'm in a couple of them. And one thing people can do is they can make quizzes for you, and there's all kinds of quizzes on there. You know, there might be one about tarot, there might be one about Greek gods, or you know, there might be one about crystals. And I took one about herbs just for the fun of it. I got every single question right on the first time, and I was like, damn, I know more about herbs than I thought I did. And that started kind of making me feel like, you know what, I think herbs is my direction of where I need to go. So that's why I want to study herbalism next. Ideally, like my future, like 10 years from now or more, dream would be to own my own like pagan shop. Be a certified herbalist where I could help people, like say, choose herbs, learn about herbs themselves. But that wouldn't be the only thing I would be selling. Obviously, it would be more like a typical pagan shop. There's, you know, crystals and tarot decks and oils and you know, various items that you need, wands and all of that kind of stuff. That would be my dream, is to actually have a shop that I ran. So we'll see if that happens. Alright, that is the first 6 questions. Next week, looking at the questions, it looks like we're going to be discussing deities, daily practice, books and authors, the pagan community as a whole, spells. Alright, so that's what we have to look forward to next Wednesday. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. My magic name is Sage, so feel free to call me Sage. You can also call me by my birth name, which is Angela. Either one works for me. So I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care of yourselves. Bye.